Hello, colleagues, and welcome to this press briefing. Please indicate if you can hear me clearly. We should be starting in a minute. Thank you very much. We should be starting in a minute. Please bear with us so that we just allow a few of our colleagues to hear you. But I think we have a full house from the coalition partners, so we should be ready to go. Colleagues on the coalition partners, could you kindly switch on your cameras so that I can identify you? All right, we should be ready to start now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Allow me to welcome you, colleagues, to this press briefing, which is being convened by a coalition of civil society organizations that are standing up against displacements. The organizations present in this briefing are the Zimbabwe Human Rights Association, ZimCode, MACRAD, NGO Forum, CNRG, Zimbabwe Peace Project, and Citizen Manifesto. Our statement is going to be read by Justina Mukoko, the Executive Director of the Zimbabwe Peace Project. And after that, after I think the reading of the statement, we are going to take a few questions. We don't want this press briefing to go too long. So it is my privilege to invite Justina Mukoko, the Executive Director of the Zimbabwe Peace Project, to give our statement regarding the evictions in Sengwe, Chilonga. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dzikamai. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It might be morning in other parts of the world. Our statement, we, the civil society organizations represented here, have been working to prevent the injustice that is to befall the people of Chilonga following the events and pronouncements over the past few weeks. Last week on 16 March 2021, the government of Zimbabwe published statutory instrument SI 72A of 2021, communal land setting aside of land Chiredzi notice 2021, which repealed SI 50 of 2021. Gazetted on the 26th of February 2021, SI 50 of 2021, it set aside 12,940 hectares of land in Chiredzi for what was originally said to be a Lucerne grass farming venture. The SI required residents to vacate the land immediately. Days later, on the 9th of March 2021, SI 663A of 2021 was published to correct certain mistakes that were in SI 50 of 2021. The new SI 72A of 2021 maintains the original intent, with the land now set to be set aside for an irrigation scheme. What has changed is the removal of the clause requiring the immediate vacation of the land by residents. As a result, there were some celebratory statements in the aftermath of SI 72A of 2021 celebrating what was seen to be a people's victory following the widespread pushback mounted against the government's conduct. However, we note that those celebrations were premature and in many ways ill-conceived. When the government gazetted SI 50 of 2021, simultaneously SI 51 of 2021 was gazetted. SI 51 of 2021 changed designation of the same piece of land from being communal land to being state land. SI 51 of 2021 has not been repealed. The effect of this is obvious. The land on which the people of Chilonga live has been taken away from them and is now state land. That same piece of land remains targeted and set aside under the new SI 72A for the purported irrigation project. What this means is that the people of Chilonga have been divested of their rights to the land, and the land has been transferred to the state. Accordingly, the people of Chilonga remain at risk of eviction, and the land becomes open for investment purposes for the purported irrigation scheme for which it was set aside. The repeal of SI 50 of 2021 has no meaningful effect and is at best the government's attempt to mislead the nation into believing that it has retreated from its offensive strategy. We are aware that a number of civil society organizations had challenged the government's plans. Those cases are currently falling away on the basis that government has now withdrawn SI 50 of 2021. Yet in actual fact, the intent and effect of SI 51 is read together with the new SI 72A is the same as what was to be achieved under SI 50. The end game being eviction of the people of Chilonga from the targeted piece of land. The government's conduct violates sections 56, 68, and 74 of the Constitution on equal protection and benefit of the law, administrative justice, and protection from evictions without a court order. It remains unclear why the people of Chilonga have been targeted when there is other vacant land that could be designated for such a project. As far as we are aware, the people of Chilonga were not consulted and did not provide free and informed consent for the mooted project to continue on their land. Any eviction of the people of Chilonga from this land, which they call home, violates Section 74 of the Constitution, which requires that there be a court order for one to be evicted from their home. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land and occupies pride of place above all other laws. Invoking constitutionally questionable clauses of the Communal Land Act does not override constitutional stipulations. Equally offensive is that while government proposes to have set aside the communal land to be state land, government has proceeded to invoke the Communal Land Act to set aside the same piece of land for an irrigation project when SI 51 of 2021 has in effect transformed the land from being communal land. The Communal Land Act is no longer applicable to this piece of land. This reveals the extent to which the government is desperately dabbling in illegalities in the manner it is approaching this issue. Finally, we take note that the government's conduct in the specific case of Chilonga is not divorced from broader trends of displacement this country has witnessed in the recent past. This is emerging as a pattern where government manipulates the absence of security of tenure on communal land holding, despite communal land being ancestral land to many of Zimbabwe's communities. The Communal Land Act, as it is currently structured, is potentially in violation of the Constitution insofar as the president and the minister responsible for the administration of the act are given certain powers to alienate land from its traditional occupiers and rights holders. Given the above, we make the following demands. 1, that the government of Zimbabwe immediately and permanently withdraws SI 51 of 2021. 2, that the government of Zimbabwe amends SI 72A of 2021 by removing the clause which continues to set aside the Chilonga land for the purported irrigation purposes. 3, that the government of Zimbabwe starts a process to review communal land holding laws, including a wholesale revision of the Communal Land Act to align it to the Constitution and to give ownership rights and security of tenure to dwellers of communal land. The Communal Land Act was passed in 1982. It needs significant reform to speak to the needs of today. As civil society, we will continue to engage with the affected communities and with the government to ensure that unjust displacements, evictions, and illegal divesting of land rights are halted in the Chilonga community specifically and in all communal lands nationally. Here ends our statements. I thank you.
Thank you very much. That is Justina Mukoko, the Executive Director of the Zimbabwe Peace Project, reading the statement on behalf of the Civil Society Coalition Against Displacements. I think we will take a few minutes if there are any colleagues with questions so that coalition partners who are present among us can respond to those questions. You can just indicate by raising your hand, or if the technology is too tough, just unmute yourself and come in. Any questions or comments? Well, I do not see any hands. Okay, if there are no questions, I would love to believe that the statement, yes, Blessed, are you raising your hand? You can unmute yourself, Blessed, and yes, you can proceed.
Yeah, I need to ask on the demands.
Proceed.
Hello?
Yes, you can proceed, Blessed.
Yeah, yes, I said I didn't get some of the points on the demands.
Okay. Now, would you want to give the demands a second run?
Maybe.
Just the demands only?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Number 1, according to our demands, that the government of Zimbabwe immediately and permanently withdraws SI 51 of 2021. Number 2, that the government of Zimbabwe amends SI 72A of 2021 by removing the clause which continues to set aside the Chilonga land for the purported irrigation purposes. Number 3, that the government of Zimbabwe starts a process to review communal land holding laws, including a wholesale revision of the Communal Land Act to align it to the Constitution and to give ownership rights and security of tenure to dwellers of communal land. The Communal Land Act was passed in 1982 and needs significant reform to speak to the needs of today.
Thank you very much, Justina. Are there any other questions? There is a question in the chat box from Thomas. Thomas is saying, what are the implications of this statement on the current situation of the Chilonga people? Can they relax as a result of your demands? Anyone to answer that question from Thomas? Yes, Justina, do you want to answer, Thomas?
They cannot relax on the basis of our demands because I think the X still hangs over their heads. And I think they can only relax when government begins to take action in terms of the demands that we have put forward. So at this stage, I think they are at that position where they are still not sure, and that X still hangs over their heads. And we are saying, as the concerned civil society organizations, we want government to listen to our demands and begin to act on them. Thereafter, I'm sure that probably we could speak about the people of Chilonga relaxing, but not at this stage.
Thank you very much for that response. I think the statement is very clear that the threat of eviction still remains. I want to invite...
Can I add something?
Yes, please come in, Farah.
Okay, thank you. In addition to what Justina has already said, our statement is also a voice of solidarity with the people of Chilonga. We are saying to them, we are with you, and we grieve with you for the problems that you are facing. But as Justina has already stated, we are also engaging the government through the statement to say statutory instrument 72A, which still continue to set aside that land for whatever purposes, is infringing on the constitutional rights of the Chilonga people. So I think that is the implication of the statement we are making today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Farai. I see Wilbert is in the house. Wilbert, would you want to come in and emphasize on the legal implications of the ongoing legal shenanigans around statutory instruments?
Thank you, Zigame. Yeah, I take note of the question which has been asked here. And I wanted also to highlight initially that we should not take this as a fight against the Chilonga people only. It's not about the Chilonga people relaxing only, but it's about us as the Zimbabwean people, whether we want to relax in the face of this adversity, which is affecting other Zimbabweans, the people of Chilonga. We know with such laws that the government can use them for Chilonga today, but will use them elsewhere. We have seen displacements happening right from the beginning, as far back as I think we have had operations such as Operation Murambashina targeting certain areas, and most people kept quiet because they felt that they were not being affected. We have seen operations in Marange, including Operation Akudzokwe. We now see what is happening in Chilonga. And the issue at the end of the day is that there are laws which are there. There are laws which belong to the colonial past, as Justina has said, which laws do not deserve to remain on our statute books. And as Zimbabweans, we have an obligation to ensure that we fight these laws together. It's not only the obligation of the Chilonga people. The statutory instruments, yes, today might be focusing on Chilonga, but in the future might go beyond Chilonga. And as Zimbabweans, let's come together and rally behind the people of Chilonga and fight the bad laws that we see today. We have analyzed these statutory instruments, and we all know that there is mark of illegalities, and they continue to change, and they continue to keep us busy as lawyers, as we have an obligation of taking them to court so that they can also be repealed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wilbert, I think, for that clarification. Henry has also posted in the chat that the current legal framework on communal lands does not only affect the people of Chilonga, but every community in Zimbabwe. And I think that's what Wilbert is emphasizing there, that it's not just the people of Chilonga who are in danger. An injustice against one group is an injustice against everyone. And these kinds of actions do require citizens to actually become outrageous, because if today they are going after the Chilonga people with impunity, tomorrow they are coming after all of us. Are there any other questions or any other points of clarification? Okay, I think I don't see any hands up. Yes, Ephraim, please come through.
Yes, my point is saying that for the people in Chilonga, we are also urging Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission to publish the report, because the commission that conducted some investigation in Chilonga sometimes in June. So it's high time for the commission to that report, so that the public is aware what is the independent voice he should be heard at this time in moment.
Thank you, Ephraim. In case you didn't get Ephraim's contribution, he's saying, Ephraim is from Makrat, he is saying they are urging the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission to publish the findings of its investigative mission to Chilonga. He is saying that the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission has been to the area affected. The area is actually Sengwe, has been to the area affected, and is urging them. And we, I think, as coalition partners, support that appeal that the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission must be seized with this issue, and they must publish those findings, and they must speak out, because this is their primary mandate. Are there any other questions as we are coming to the end of this press briefing? Okay, I don't see any other hands, so I would like to believe that the issues raised in the press briefing are very clear to all of us, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the coalition partners who are working on the issue of displacements, and also to specifically thank Justina for reading the statement on behalf of the coalition partners. And I wish you all guys a wonderful evening. We have come to the end of our press briefing.
Thank you, Zikamai.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Zikamai. Thank you, everyone. Bye.